Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, March 14th. Like I said, still lots going on here and everything, getting over, the end of our session and all that kind of stuff. And I'll get right into all that, but we just did a wonderful thing with Fairmont State and with our foster kids and everything. Just got through doing that. I'll get to that in just a few minutes as well. I guess the biggest thing and the hottest thing going around is just this, the budget and the budget that we've done and how we did it and all that kind of stuff. And, from the standpoint of the House and the Senate and everything, I want to lead off by saying this, I'll sign the budget because we need a budget. We absolutely need a budget. But I will absolutely call our legislatures back into a special session, and I'll call them back possibly very soon. From the standpoint of things that we needed to address and we needed to get across the finish line is we needed to get our daycare and for our young families and everything. We needed to really get into a vigorous debate, and we needed to try some way, somehow, to help those people. It was a tax break, and we needed to figure out some way to do it. As far as our low-income seniors, our homestead exemption, from the standpoint of helping out with our property tax, we needed to do it. We can do it. For crying out loud, it's absolutely stuff that we should be doing, And when I call them back, they'll absolutely be on the call, and we'll see if we can get across the finish line. Now, look, let me just tell you this, and this is speaking from my heart. We got a lot of great legislatures in this state. Now, I've been here 7+ years now, and I've had the opportunity to work with lots and lots and lots of these folks. Some have left, and some are now even Supreme Court judges. And good gracious, when I came in the door and everything, there was lots of hard work that had to be done. And Speaker Tim Armstead at the time, we probably disagreed on some things in the beginning, but at the end of the day, he was right in my office. And he was slugging for trying to get compromise and goodness. And I think he would tell you I was doing exactly the same thing. He's a good man. He's a really good man in my book. And so we're proud to have him now as a Supreme Court judge. With all that being said, I've got to tell you this. For all the great legislatures and good people, and overwhelmingly, we do have that. And we do have that right now in the state of West Virginia. I would say to you just this. You know what a mess now that we're going to be in DHS. Got a lot of degrees, and I'm a business guy that has done lots and lots and lots of stuff. We in the state of West Virginia have had an unprecedented economic run, have we not? Unbelievable what's happened in the state of West Virginia. Day before yesterday, I spent the whole day in D.C. with group after group after group after group. And you know what they were saying over and over and over? We'd have never believed it. We'd have never believed it in West Virginia. There's no way. There's no way. What y'all have done in West Virginia is unflat believable. Over and over and over, I heard the same thing. All day long, group after group after group. Groups were coming in probably every 15 minutes, and then I was speaking to them. And over, it was the same thing. Now, with all that being said, an unprecedented economic run in the state of West Virginia, tell me why. Why in the world we spent so much time listening to a man that has now caused an absolute dog's mess. That's all there is to it. We have hundreds of thousands of people in West Virginia that are going to be affected, whether it be IDD, can you imagine? Can you imagine the good work that we did, and now we could possibly hurt those folks? Foster children, AWD. It just goes on and on and on all across the spectrum here. Why did we do it? Why in the world did we do it? And with all that being said, now what we've done is we say, well, let's just cut $100 million out of this or whatever like that. And what that does is just think of the federal monies that would be flowing into our state with the matching of that 100 million versus hundreds and hundreds of millions on the Fed side. I am here to tell you, when we call them back, this will be front and center. And to be perfectly honest, we're not going to be able probably to wait, because it's going to take time to figure this out. We're not going to probably be able to wait till after the elections, because this will take time to straighten out from the folks in our revenue department. Why? Please tell me why. We didn't take the time to listen to the people that are the real experts. The real experts are the people that have been in our revenue department and absolutely have been a real part of this unprecedented economic run. Why didn't we listen to them? But we didn't. We didn't listen to them. We listened to somebody that's inexperienced, to be perfectly honest, but commands the floor. And so I tell you, legislatures, I tell you, House members, and I tell you, absolute great senators, please, absolutely, just think just a second about this. And I only say this in, being halfway funny. But I'd say in this office, we take a scalpel to stuff. We don't ever take an axe to stuff. And that's what we've done right here. We've taken an axe to DHS, and absolutely it will cause a tremendous amount of our most needy to be really hurt. It's not right. It's just plain not right. So with all that being said, we'll call everybody back, and now we'll have to go through all the hoops and everything with all that. We'll have to go through all the different wickets to try to get through to solve and come up with solutions and everything. And all I would tell you is listen to reason and listen to people that my dad would say have done it. The people that absolutely we rely on all the time. The people that absolutely, with all in me, have been a real part of this unprecedented economic run. We didn't need to do this. And it's really hurt a bunch of people, and I don't like it and everything. And we're going to have to call everybody back, and we'll try to fix it and everything. And we'll some way, somehow get it fixed. On the good side, we did get the Social Security stuff in, the stuff I had in my State of the State. We did get our pay raises for our teachers and our state policemen and our state employees and all that across the finish line. I'm thankful that we absolutely had at least enough wisdom to say, we're going to try to help our seniors, with a tax break. Look, from day one, I have done one thing, and I have done it every single year, and that's mind a store. You haven't seen any pet projects from Jim Justice. You haven't seen Jim Justice going out and building any Taj Mahals or whatever, that Jim Justice thinks are a great, great, great idea. I did what absolutely was the right thing, mind a store. Take care of every county in this state. Every county is just as precious as any county. From the standpoint of our seniors in the state of West Virginia, as we have moved forward and everything, this will only grow our state. We've absolutely now, we've moved forward in the total elimination of any tax in regard to the state with Social Security. And now we have 5 times, since 2018, 5 times, we've given our state employees a 5% pay raise. And I don't know how we can possibly not say that this will move us forward in a more positive way in trying to help our teachers, our service personnel, the people you call first when you got a real problem, the state police or whomever it may be. So I am happy we got those two things, those big things across the finish line, and we'll go from there. Okay, this could really be, scheduled for sometime in April, because, the same thing could very well happen. But next week is Spring Severe Weather Awareness Week. And so next week, March 18th through the 24th is Spring Severe Weather Awareness Week in West Virginia. Who knows? We could end up big time snowstorm. Who knows what it could be and everything. Whether tornadoes, lots of different things, or outbreaks as we transition from really winter to spring, and then hopefully summer right around the corner. But all right. I've got to tell you, we've had 2 more state records, and on fish that have been caught at New Creek Lake. I'm going to read this, but today I'm excited to announce 2 new catch records that were set in February at New Creek Lake. For a redbreast sunfish and a tiger trout. Let me make sure I get this right, but Zach Adkins of Petersburg caught a record 9.29 inch, 9.1 ounce redbreast sunfish. And, for those of you that don't know much about that and everything, that's, one of the cousins to bluegills and everything. But, oftentimes those fish, to catch a fish that big that's almost as wide as it is long and everything is really special. So Zach, congratulations, and I know that was a lot of fun. And Nathaniel Smith, of Burlington, caught a 26.73 inch, 11.98 pound tiger trout. Unbelievable, unbelievable. And so Nathaniel, congratulations. Good stuff, really good stuff happening in West Virginia, which shows more and more and more that West Virginia is a true destination, a premier fishing destination and everything. We want more and more and more people to come to West Virginia and see that they could be one maybe to catch a record fish in West Virginia. So absolutely, for all those that are managing our waters and everything, thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've spent a lot of time on our streams and rivers in West Virginia and our lakes. USA 10 Best Reader's Choice nominations. If I could one more time say, we need your votes for Berkeley Springs, the best historic small town, for Lewisburg as your best small town food service, or scene rather, and Fairmont for best small town in the South. And, if you could go to the, let me get this straight. It's just head over to the USA Today website and cast your votes for all 3 nominees and everything. This is where you go, the USA Today website, where you can cast your vote. Please do that and everything, because we want a great showing for those cities in West Virginia. In regard to the Operation Rest in Peace potholes, we're now up to 42,555 potholes over 4,608 miles of roads that our DOH people have addressed and taken care of, and they're going to stay right after it. This is a massive success and everything. Due to the fact that we've had a mild winter and everything, we've been able to take care of a lot of this, at this early date. Okay, from a standpoint of the game time, stuff, the Marshall women are the champions of the Sun Belt, on the way to the NCAA tournament and the WVU Rifle, the WVU Rifle National Championship. We congratulate the WVU Rifle team, who finished as the national runner-ups, this year and everything. So we wanted to win, but nevertheless, it's still a great, great, great showing. Okay, Monday, I had the privilege of doing something really neat. I was at Calhoun, I guess it's 5 through high school, and there was 2 amazing, young people there. One, Lauren Lovejoy, and the other, Charter Cottrell, and they were involved. When the Calhoun County school bus, crashed, and basically with a drunk driver. I mean, it just blows me away. I mean, what's wrong with people? I mean, what in the world is wrong with people? 19 kids really hurt. 2 of those kids, still having a really tough go. But when all that happened, you saw the goodness of West Virginians over and over. But Lauren Lovejoy and Charter Cottrell, jumped into action. One of them, took the coat. I mean, Lauren took her coat off and everything to put it around one of our children that were hurt. They refused medical attention until everybody else was taken care of. They helped people in every way get off the bus and get out of harm's way. And so I gave them both Distinguished West Virginians Awards, and there they are right there. And boy, great work in that school. And you could just tell all across the school how much impacted by this terrible accident, where we depend on others to absolutely ensure the safety and well-being of our children. And, kids that were probably props knocked out from underneath them a little bit and everything, but at the same time, I told them I believe this and everything. Don't let someone steal your joy. Let's, the good book preaches that all the time, and we move forward. Even though absolutely it's tough at times, nobody ever said this life was going to be fair every day, and we're just prayerful in every way that all these kids are going to be okay, and as well as maybe the bus driver will get his life straightened up, but all that said, what a great day. Those kids in Calhoun County, it was really special, and all the teachers and administrators and everything. It was a really good day, really, really good day. Last thing I have is just what I just did, just a few minutes ago, and let off with this. But, Fairmont State has done a lot of neat stuff and a lot of really, really good stuff. Right now, they have a program that may very well catch on all across our state, but it could catch on all across this nation. It's basically a middle college where high school kids are able to come. They're going to end up with an associate degree, and then basically on their way to a bachelor degree, and all that would be just wonderful. And but these kids are foster kids. Now let's be fair. Foster kids, have been dealt probably a couple of bad cards, a couple of tough blows. And so with all that being said now, Fairmont State's stepping up and saying, we're going to have a program. We're going to have a program, and it's not going to cost those foster children one dime, not one dime, to be earning college credits and everything, and enroll now. Enroll now in high school. Enroll, and we will absolutely put you on the way, to an associate degree, a bachelor degree, whatever it may be. And absolutely right now is a great, great, great time. Please, our foster children, hear me, and just think about it and everything. It could be another great step in your life and everything. And like I said, I don't know how in the world it could be anything better than Fairmont State doing God's work, doing really good stuff, really, really good stuff. It should spread all across our state. It should spread all across this nation. Because absolutely, those kids need us, and they need us really badly. Thank you so much. That's all I've got.
All right, thank you, Governor. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with W News. Governor, you said you were planning for the special session very soon. I think the expectation now is that this will coincide with the May interims. Does that mean you're going to call something prior to that now? Is that the plan?
Charles, surely possible, from the standpoint of the fact, that now we've got such a dog's mess in this DHS, Charles, here's all there is to it. This is going to be complicated to implement. It's going to be complicated to figure out. We have absolutely got to fix this. And, for us to wait way up in May, if we don't watch out, we're going to be deadlines in July, and then we're going to be in a real mess. So with all that being said, there's a really good chance we're going to have to call them back in April. But I know everybody, is running for office, and we got elections, we got everything else on the agenda and everything. We'll see, and what we can do. Like I said, I just go back to the same thing. Why in the world did we do this? Why on earth did we do it? Absolutely, it's very silly, very, very, very silly. We first and foremost, I've said it 15 times. I don't know how to say it any clearer. We got a lot of great, great, great people. Great people. And that work in our legislature, whether they be in the House or the Senate. Great people, lots of them. And everything. But at the end of the day, if we don't watch out, we get, a voice in the wilderness screaming and hollering and on something and everything. Maybe they don't know anything about, what they're screaming and hollering about. And then lo and behold, you got an absolute mess. But this has got to be corrected before the end of the fiscal year. And so, we may very well have to call people back, sometime in April.
All right, thanks, Charles. Next to Brad McElhenney with West Virginia Metro News.
Hi, Governor. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask you about a couple of other bills. One would freeze the employer contributions to the State Unemployment Trust Fund and freeze the unemployment benefit rates. Are you for that? Another bill would allow vaccine exemptions for virtual school students and allow private schools to set their own vaccination standards. What do you think about that one? Thank you.
Well, Brad, let me say this without dodging, and please don't take it that way. But I've got to really bear down when they come down here. But if I could, primarily talk about the vaccine stuff, we're bombarded with calls, from docs and all kinds of different people saying, what are we doing? What in the world are we doing? And on top of all that, you've got, we surely haven't had a measles outbreak in West Virginia. And I had a gentleman just in my office not long ago, talking about, when he was growing up, one of the family members had polio, and you had issues with that and everything. I just need to really look at it. I mean, I am all for all the understandings of our freedoms. I am not a medical doctor. I do not know all the ramifications, about the possibilities that, can exist or would exist and everything by taking the shots and everything, growing up, all of our children, of course, all of us have been vaccinated, and we were done, and that was done, out of all kinds of preventions as we grew up. But nevertheless, let me just look at it. I think it's premature for me to say, yeah, I'll sign it or we'll go another way.
All right, thank you, Brad. Next, we'll go to Stephen Allen Adams with Ogden Newspapers.
Yeah, this is Stephen Adams with Ogden Newspapers. Governor, how much of this issue with the budget, going back to the budget, is kind of on you as well? I know that you obviously are upset with somebody in the state Senate side of things. You haven't named him, but I think we figured out who. But you weren't even here on the last night of the session on day 60. Now, I know you have staff that are constantly talking to legislators throughout the legislative session, but if you're going to call a special session sooner than May, which is when they're all expected to come back, at what point do you get directly involved in this and try to bring the parties to the table and fix this mess that you are alluding to here? Like, when do you get involved with this versus leaving it up to your staff? Because that doesn't seem to have done much good this session. Thank you.
You weren't right, brother. I was here. I was right over there at the mansion, and I was meeting back and forth with all kinds of different people and everything. But you're not right about that. I was here on Saturday, and you know, the net of the whole thing is Stephen, we spent a lot of time, did we not, on issues that didn't have anything whatsoever to do with the budget. I'm a real believer. I'm a real believer, and I'm not going to sit here and blame people. All I'm saying is we spent a lot of time listening to a per se expert that led us in a direction that now we've got a big time problem in our Department of Human Services. Now we do, Stephen. I mean, we can say what we want, but we've got a big time problem in our Department of Human Services, a humongous problem. We did not pass a couple of tax breaks that I felt like we should have passed in West Virginia, and we spent a lot of time talking about issues that were more social issues and forgot the budget, and absolutely at the last minute we tried to run in and switch this and that and everything else, and we made a bunch of mistakes. Now, we can say what we want, but I'm the guy that believes that the budget is first and foremost, and that is the thing that we needed to absolutely get right. And we didn't get it right, but I have spent countless moments, on the budget that I sent up there was fine and dandy. It offered a solution right off the get-go. And what did we do? We just tore that up in a lot of different ways. And even at the last moment, we were bickering back and forth, and who knows, if we were really even going to get across the finish line with the pay raises. The pay raises were absolutely at risk up until late on Saturday. The pay raises were up in the air. The absolute Social Security stuff was up in the air. Why in the world, please somebody tell me, why in the world did we put this, off until the very last moment and then absolutely come up with something that will hurt our IDD people, our AWD people? Absolutely, if we don't watch out, we're going to have to now come back and try to fix it and everything else. And you pray tell, if I would have sat on the dome the entire time, why in the world, why on this planet can we possibly come up and say, well, maybe you could have done this or maybe you could have done that? I mean, come on now. Let's be fair.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Governor, back to you.
No, at the end of the day, all I can say is there's no point in blaming anybody. At the end of the day, we're going to have to call them back. We're going to have to all come back and try to clean up this situation in regard to, DHS. We're going to have to come back. I think we should address the 2 additional tax cuts. We had the money to do it. We had an unprecedented economic times in the state of West Virginia. We were minding the store with, for all practical purposes, a flat budget. Say what you want, but at the end of the day, we've done it right, and we'll just have to come back and fix it. That's all I got.